Hi, welcome back. Jeff here in our final video in the 3-part series on burnout for athletes. In video 1, we talked about the 2 different types of stress that can lead to burnout. Physical stress, which is the stress we feel inside our bodies from training, so sore muscles, or chronic use injuries like lower back pain, ankle pain, but also mental stress, which can come from inside ourselves, such as having really high expectations and getting frustrated when we don't meet our goals, trying to be perfect, or the mental stress from outside of ourselves, from our coaches, our teammates, or maybe even our parents, and the pressure we feel from them. Like I mentioned, the combination of our physical stress and our mental stress put together can lead to our first stage of burnout, which is staleness, which then often will lead to overtraining and finally full-fledged burnout. Last month, I talked about 2 different athletes, Hayden and Paula. Hayden was experiencing burnout because she was not just feeling mentally stressed, she was also feeling physically stressed. Paula, on the other hand, wasn't feeling physically stressed. She was feeling mentally stressed. She was really frustrated with not improving and feeling stuck. I started to give you some strategies in that video on, regardless of if you are Paula or like Hayden, how you can start to overcome burnout. In this final video, I want to bring you some other strategies to help you fall back in love with the awesome sport of cheerleading. I have 5 strategies to present for you today. The first strategy is 1, 2, and 3 all together. So it starts by focusing on having bite-sized chunks. Sounds weird, I get it. We all have a goal, and goals are great. But if we are always just focused on the end result, for instance, it's going to be tryout season soon. If your goal that you're focused on when you're in the gym is to make your dream team, that level 4 team, or being that it's near the end of the season, if you're really focused on the national competitions, wanting to win, getting a bid to the end of the season, large competitions, that's again our end goal. I want you in the bite-sized chunk strategy, rather than focusing on the end goal, I want you to focus on the one thing that you can do right now that is going to help you get closer to that end goal. So let's say it is to make that level 4 team and you want to have a layout. Well, I want you to focus on one thing you can do right now, giving 100% effort, focusing on getting my feet together sooner in my round off, focusing on just squeezing my glutes. That bite-sized chunk over an extended period of time is going to lead you closer to that end goal. But if you're sitting in practice only focused on whether or not you're going to get a bid to the end of the season event and your stunt is falling, you're going to start feeling a lot of mental stress. Along with bite-sized chunk, the second strategy is WIN. What's important now? WIN is an acronym that is going to help you stop time traveling to the future, which would be your end of season goal, or to the past. What happens if this weekend I fall like I did last time? When we time travel, the chances are really good that we're increasing that stress and pressure we're feeling inside of ourselves. So, rather than time traveling, focus on the present moment. Third strategy, I want you to use one of my favorites called the brain growth formula. If you are like me and when you were young, watched cartoons, and you would remember that there was a little angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder, I like to think of this little angel and devil idea as being our critical coach, the devil, the one that's really perfectionistic and is critical of everything we do, says mean things. And then the angel on our shoulder being the positive coach, the one that's excited and proud of us, the one that's cheering us on. the same one that had you click this video. A lot of us have a very loud critical coach on our shoulder. That is probably what's leading a lot of you to feeling burned out and feeling upset and frustrated with yourself. The brain growth formula is set up to help you change the habit inside your head so that you start to feel more proud of what you're doing in that present moment. So bite-sized chunks and the what's important now strategy. So the brain growth formula is this. Step 1, every time you get done with something, ask yourself, what did I do better? Now, do you always do better? No. Usually we do something better. Sometimes we don't. So if for some reason we don't do better, we just ask ourselves why. But for 95% of the time we do something, we're going to do better. We're going to do something that's improved. So step 2 then is to make sure we set one goal for next time. So let's say I went and did my back handspring. I'm really proud of myself for getting my arms glued to my ears. Maybe I'm also really proud of getting my legs tight because I was squeezing my VMO. But one goal I want to have for next time is I want to squeeze my bottom longer so I'm not piking at the top. So now go try your back handspring and focus on squeezing your bottom harder. Don't just be happy if your bottom is in a perfect position. If it's improved and your hips are more open, I want you to celebrate in the brain growth formula. And then maybe when you set that second goal for next time, it will be open my hips by squeezing my glutes more. This is a very simple strategy that will help to change the way in which you think about your skills. Because most of us who are watching this video probably have a really loud devil on our shoulder, this strategy is going to be really important to stop that habit of being critical at first and instead really focus on something that is improved. Strategy number 4, have a plan. If you are wanting to make your dream team, have a plan of getting there. I know your goal, the end destination is making that dream team, but what's your plan to get there? What are you going to commit to every day that you're going to hold yourself accountable to do that will help you get to that end goal? That's where that bite-sized chunk and what's important now strategy is super helpful. All right, it's Tuesday, and on Tuesday, I'm going to do my squats. Oh, it's Thursday. I'm going to make sure I get to the gym 10 minutes early and work to open my thoracic spine and improve my shoulder mobility. When you have a plan, it's a lot easier to feel proud of yourself and feel hopeful for the future. One more thing about have a plan, always have a plan B. What does that mean? Well, if your end goal is some dream team goal, if for some reason your layout, you're too worried about throwing it, well, what about your punch front through to tuck? What about your cartwheel tuck? What about your front handspring front? When you have a plan B, you are more likely to feel hopeful. You're more likely to be able to succeed in those goals that you have. Final strategy. Imagine if. So if you've watched all these videos and you're still like, ugh, cheerleading, I want you to try this last strategy to let you know if maybe it's time to turn in your cheer shoes. Imagine if you could imagine that if your tumbling returned, you would reignite your passion. If you could or would make that level 3 team and your passion would be reignited. If you would be able to hit your stunt at competition or get your tumbling put back in the routine, if your passion would return, you're not burned out. You are just experiencing a lot of mental pressure. whether it be from inside yourself or from others. Use the strategies I've discussed with you in the last 3 videos to help reignite and be able to combat that critical coach devil on your shoulder so that you can become that elite athlete that you've always dreamed of, because I know you can do it. I hope everybody learned so much from these videos. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to me at mindbodycheer@gmail.com. And until next month, everybody, be well.